Hey there, welcome back to East Texas Live at 3. This year's State Fair of Texas is now in its final week, and East Texas Live has been bringing the fair to you as much as possible over the last couple weeks. And look, if you got to go this year, you will love being reminded of all the fun. However, if you've never been to the State Fair, or if you're like me and you hadn't been in a long minute, here's what you're missing.
The State Fair of Texas is something you wish you could go to every year, but life gets in the way. You know it's fun, and it's a great experience to share with friends and family. You know the food is epic, the exhibits are awe-inspiring, the shows are amazing, the rides, they're stellar. But it's a long car ride to get there. Maybe your money's a little tight, maybe you don't like crowds as much as you used to. You've got work, you've got family schedules going, so you miss it. Believe me, I know. If not for this show, I probably wouldn't have been able to go either. Because of that, in my reports, I tried to bring the parts of the fair I thought you would want to see. The number one thing I was asked about in my trip to the fair was the food. And yes, it was amazing. All of it. I learned that fried pho won the Big Tex Choice Awards for a reason. But I also learned that the fair hangs up posters of the previous year's winners in the Tower Building food court, and those posters can serve as a valuable guide for you to make sure no calorie is wasted. The bourbon banana sopapillas I tried were excellent, as was the fried coffee. It was all Big Tex approved, and it was all culinary genius. I didn't eat anything that was mediocre, much less bad. Everything I had was stellar. A couple things missing from my reports. I didn't spend any time on the Midway games. Why? I didn't think you would enjoy watching me lose a small pile of money, failing at games, getting all mad. So we skipped that part. I also didn't do a whole lot of rides, and mostly for lack of time, but we did get to go a couple rounds on the Texas Star, that giant blue Ferris wheel that you can see from I-30 when you're driving into Dallas. I had last rode that Ferris wheel in high school, but now in my old age, looking from that great height triggered a small vertigo experience. Things kind of started spinning. The view was magical though, can't deny that. The most impactful part of the State Fair was the museums. I definitely can appreciate how humbling it is to see a blanket knitted together by a 16-year-old slave girl from the 1820s at the African American Museum. There was the heartbreaking memorial to the victims of the Uvalde school shooting at the Mundo Latino. The Daughters of the American Revolution house was small, but very active. Fun stuff. Now, the shows were impressive for a couple reasons. Number one, it's just amazing to see all this stuff that you've only seen in TV and YouTube videos happening right in front of your face in the flesh. But also, you can't do any of those tricks. And the Stunt Dog Show put my meager dog training efforts to shame. Super impressive. The State Fair of Texas is a great experience tailored just for Texans. And if you go, it's hard to not have a good time. So if you can, go. If you can't go, I totally understand. I hope our reports from the fair filled in some of the fun you missed, because we certainly had fun making them. My only regret is that I didn't get to include my kids. You know, we only get a few precious years to hang out with the kiddos before they move on to adulthood. So if you need any more of an incentive to go, I highly recommend you make it a family trip with your kids or grandkids. Overall, if you haven't been to the State Fair of Texas in years, trust me, it was even bigger and better than you remember.
And as a reminder, the State Fair of Texas runs through this Sunday. It's all over October 22nd. And if life gets in the way and you still can't make it, I bet you'll get a good kick out of all the previous East Texas Live stories we've done on the fair. So to see more of those performances, the museums, the food, go to East Texas Live page at ketk.com.